Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday, September 6th Istio Combined Work Group meeting. So the first and only topic on the agenda is from me calling for a new tertiary shadow RM for the next release. So as you can see in the RM list, we have everyone called for 119, but for 120, we still need a tertiary shadow RM. And so my idea here is we can ask for an RM from one of the companies who hasn't been primary RM for a while. In the list of previous RMs, both Google, IBM, Solo, Red Hat, and so on have served for a while. But if you look at the last time when a RM has been the primary, for Red Hat and Aspen, it has been a while. And for some of the other companies, they are their RMs. So this will be a great opportunity to train new RMs. With that, I ask for community feedback.
Francis, can you outline what kind of a commitment it is to serve in this role?
So for tertiary, actually not a whole lot. But what I do expect is, so for tertiaries, first of all they need to do is shadow the primary and secondary RMs. And in case the secondary RM cannot approve PRs, they will need to approve those PRs on behalf of, and also basically just as a shadow, just learn the process. But for tertiary, what I do expect is if they start as a tertiary in one release, then for the next release, they'll graduate to become the secondary. And finally, by the third release, they've learned enough of the process to become a primary, which is, as I said, this is a great way to onboard and train new RMs to the whole process, or RMs who have not done it for a while.
I'm sorry, I was about to say it all sounds good. If we can get some more people to learn the process, that's always handy because it is quite complicated. I was going to say that if you do get stuck and need some help, then I'm happy to do it again whenever you need me to, Francis.
Thank you. I think Callie can also speak to the process. She joined in as a tertiary RM back in 117 timeframe, and for this release, she's the primary.
Yeah, so when I joined as tertiary, I think it was after someone else had dropped, so it was right before release time. So I remember trying to keep up with everything, and that was a lot, but you definitely don't need to do it that way when you're tertiary. Just try to observe, and then if someone asks you to do something, just follow through, try to help out. Secondary is definitely where it gets more involved, and ideally you can really help out your primary, but still there's so many steps that only the primary can really do. It's just as secondary, you really have to be available to approve PRs so that things keep moving. And then as primary, I think I had maybe primary is definitely a lot more work, but the tricky thing about it is that it's not super consistent. So it can be interruptive. So just depending on your working style, I would be mindful of that.
Thank you, Kalia. John?
Yeah, I was going to ask, are we just looking for the tertiary? Who's the release manager 1 and 2? The reason I ask is on the first tab, it looks like we have them slotted in, but it doesn't necessarily match what we have on the other tab. So we just want to make sure that we actually have.
Yeah, so the other tab is previous release managers. The primary, the upcoming release manager right now, for 1 and 2, we have the secondary, I still can't pronounce his name, Sean, from who's a secondary for 120, and then Ariane, who's the tertiary for 119 right now. So these two for 120 we already have slotted in. I'm looking for the tertiary who is willing to serve for the next 3 releases.
Also, the primary for this 120 release is like really, really on top of things. So, like, if you're tertiary for this one, you're like, I don't know, he was a great secondary to have, especially with the time zone differences. But yeah, if you're going to be tertiary for this release, it's like not going to be that bad. So,
John, does that answer your question?
It does, as long as what I put back on the 3rd tab is actually accurate. Is that what it's
Yes,
needs?
you're right. I've forgotten to upload that.
Okay, no, that's no problem. I just want to make sure I understood. Yeah, no, it sounds good. We may also want to shortly start looking for 121 as well, just so we're
Yep.
prepared. I understand that's hard.
Well, so every once in a while, I'm going to come back and make this ask. So I just ask the community to think about this. I will also post this on the, well, actually, you guys tell me, what's the most appropriate channel to post this? Ask for community volunteers. Announcement channel, or is it a general discussion?
Contributors
Probably the
channel.
contributors channel.
Contributors channel. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to ask random people. We want contributors.
Do we have any regular representatives from the Aspen Mesh or Dow Cloud and any of these other companies who have not served as primary RM roles yet? Are they still actively contributing to the community?
I mean, it'd be interesting to look at the list of contributors, right? And see who sort of work your way down that list and see if there's somebody who would potentially make a good release manager and would volunteer to do it.
Thank you.
And I was going to say, I like Paul, certainly am around to, help the release managers as needed, whether it be primary or, whatever. But I think, yeah, starting out as a tertiary role is not very hard, and it's a role that you can grow into and learn. So it's not like you're being thrown in the fire right from the beginning.
yeah, that's true. By the time you are primary, especially because there are so many people like Eric and like others, John, who's like super helpful, it's not as bad as you might think it would be by the time you have to release yourself. And people are also pretty forgiving, which is good.
All right, so that's my ask. And
It would be good to raise this in steering too. A lot of times the companies that are involved there, you'll be talking to higher level management where they're actually able to task engineers. I think most of us in this call tend to be engineers looking for tasks rather than the other way around.
that's
I
a
will
great
say
suggestion.
That's
How do I get?
got me. So Keith was like, "You're a release manager," and then I was release manager. So yeah, probably contacting M1s is best.
How do I get this on steering agenda?
That is a great question to ask your steering representatives.
Yeah,
there is a
there's-
steering channel too. You can ask.
yeah, there's a public steering channel that you could ask. I can also put it on the agenda. The steering meetings currently are private, so but we could invite you if you want, or I can take it up on your behalf. I don't think you're really
Yeah,
necessary.
John, can you just take this up on my behalf? I
Yep.
will put this in the steering channel, and then you have access to this doc. So whenever the next steering meeting meets, let's just get that on there.
There has been a proposal for about a year now to take some of the steering meetings public as well. I don't know if there's been any action on that or if it's been decided against, but that was in work a while, being discussed a while ago.
Oh, it is tomorrow. Okay, cool. Right on time. All right, so that's the only topic I have. Do you guys have anything?
I was going to say congratulations on getting 1.19.0 out. We're talking about release managers. It sort of feeds right into there.
Absolutely.
Yes, awesome job, everyone. Congrats. And I just saw there's a new Go version, so get ready for 1.19.1.
Yeah, I just installed it in my VM as we speak.
That one's not a
Not
tick,
only
by the way. I was joking about needing to do it urgently.
I was
No,
going to say,
yeah,
not only 119.1, but we need to port it to we need it in 118 and 117 as well, right?
We do, yeah. It's not like
I was-
it doesn't impact us though, so it's not time sensitive.
they'll just
So that's
be picked
something
up
I
at the
could
next
help.
release.
So something I was going to ask then is, I've got 118.3 built and Sergey is off testing it. Should I wait and get it rebuilt with this new Go version and just kick the testing off again, or should I just get it shipped tomorrow as I was planning?
I don't know if John has any feedback on that, but it sounds like he wasn't saying we should have to respin for this, right?
No, it's just there's no like.
CE has nothing to do with what Istio uses, so it seems like a waste of effort to rebuild it.
And I don't think I haven't paid attention. I thought I saw a base image update yesterday, maybe, but only a master. I don't know that there's any CVEs that we have to worry about in there either. But
I triggered that manually because of the VM change that started using the base image, so it actually looked related to CVEs.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see it in the other one, so it's sort of it's just weird. Okay, and it makes sense now that you manually created it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and ship it as planned then, when the long running tests have run for a bit longer.
All right. With that, if nobody else has any other topics to discuss, we can end the meeting early.
For instance, I can give an update on the CA cert merging work, because that'll be important for 120 if that gets in.
Yeah, please.
So that's been ongoing for a while. It's the effort to merge the Istio CA secret with the plugin CA certs. So it's just one secret. So that work, the first iteration of that work is in, and the next phase is starting now. So it's pretty crucial change just to get it right and make sure it's backwards compatible. So it's a pretty tricky change. It'll probably be in 120. So yeah, I just wanted to give an update or just refresh that that's still an initiative going on that's small, but in a critical path. So just wanted to remind people of that work.
Thank you. But I missed the first part. So merge Istio CA secret with what again?
With the CA certs secret. So one is like the self-signed secret that's generated by IstioD, and then one is like the plugin secret that users could provide.
Would you say that this will be ready by the time we release 120?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But I guess just to confirm, what is the timeline for 120?
Probably sometime in November. I will work on the timelines and announce in a few weeks.
So then I'd say most likely, but it is a tricky change. So it takes a long time to review each thing. So hopefully, but I would say it is tricky. So there's a chance it could go to 121.
We'll just say it's planned to be ready for 120.
Yep.
Thank you. Keith?
Yeah, so Francis, what's the typical drift between estimated release time and feature freeze? Because I think that's the kind of the deadline relevant to the cert merging, correct?
Let's see. What do we have for 119?
Yeah, do you have the 1.20 schedule out, I guess is.
I don't have the 1.20 schedule out yet. I will have it out soon, probably by this time next week.
I'm gonna say usually code freeze. I want to say code freeze would be typically the middle of October-ish.
Oh, I'm just looking at
I guess that's
1.19.
feature freeze, and code freeze would then be the beginning of November.
Yeah, feature freeze. So just here, just to give a view on 1.19, for example, we had feature freeze by the middle of June. Well, actually, end of July in this case. So if you +3, that will take us to end of October. And then 2 weeks after that will be cold freeze. So that'll take us into the middle of November. I still need to, because the last release of the year for Q4, to schedule it around the holiday period can be a little tricky. So I still need to take a look at, what would this be, 1.16 schedule from a year ago, and build a schedule from there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think is this one got an extra week built into it too?
Yeah, like I said, I need to look at the past dates.
Yeah, I was just thinking the 1.19 schedule in particular. I think we had, at some point in time in here, we threw in an extra 1 week because normally branch cut has typically been right around just after the 15th, because that's when Envoy typically does their release. The tail end of their release is going to be the 15th, or their release window. So then we usually branch cut like right after that. So that's why I was thinking branch cut would have been about the 15th of October.
Mm-hmm.
But again, yeah, I don't know how the holidays mess with that. And then the other comment to go with that too is KubeCon will be the week of like the 5th and 6th. I think it's the beginning of the week. So, how does, do we want to try to have the release out before that? Or we probably don't want to have that like, the middle, or that last week before release. Right.
The 5th and 6th of November?
November, yes. So KubeCon's
the problem is, if we want to release it, well, let me ask this question. So do we have any technical reasons or product marketing reasons that we have to have this out before KubeCon?
I think there may be workshops. I don't know the exact Istio Day schedule, but maybe there could be workshops at Istio Day. So I think release candidate would be fine for the workshops. So it doesn't have to be the official release.
So, and that's that Monday, that Monday, right?
Yes.
So like Monday the 5th or 6th or something like that.
Yeah.
Monday will be the 6th.
Okay.
6th of November is the Monday. So if we have code freeze release candidate by, let's say, Wednesday, November the 1st, would that be preferable? Or do we need a little more time even before that?
When we say release candidate, are we talking about a literal release candidate or an alpha/beta? Because what we did, I think we did for Detroit last year, is we cut basically a KubeCon alpha that was used for demos and such, and then the regular release process followed after that. Would that be possible here to essentially set a line in the sand of, okay, everything after this date is not going to make the alpha, and just do that?
Well, I would assume we'd at least be the beta builds by then if we're going to do a branch cut, middle to the end of October, because that's when we build the beta.
Sure. Good point.
And I'm trying to remember, was KubeCon earlier last year in October-ish? Maybe not. I don't remember. I'd have to look at their schedule.
It was October, late October in Detroit.
So I'm thinking release candidate might be okay. The other comment I would add maybe, what are our big goals for 1.20? I know in the past we've talked about, ambient going to beta. So is that something that we'd want, to make sure Obviously, if we have a release candidate, we're probably pretty close. So that would be something we'd want to have if indeed, some of these workshops are going to be using ambient too. Although excuse me, we're probably getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but go ahead, Keith.
Somewhat crazy idea, but I see that there's a TOC meeting on Monday. Would TOC or some delegation representing them be open to doing some release planning for 1.20? I don't know what the current status of that is, given that we don't really have working group leads like the community used to. But I think to Eric's point, it would be really, I think, useful and interesting to know, okay, do we have any big, what are the big goals feature-wise or bug fix-wise, et cetera, for the upcoming release? And it feels like now would be actually pretty decent time to start having those conversations. What do y'all think?
+1, and it gives us 5 weeks before branch cut, or 6 weeks before branch cut, to get that work done.
So who here is on the TOC? John?
And then myself.
Okay.
Mitch, I think.
Yep. Do you guys all have writing rights to the TOC agenda list? And if you could, please put this on the agenda. I will check my calendar to see if I can make to that meeting as well. But I think largely I'll just be there to see what the result of the TOC discussion is, and then work out a schedule as accordingly.
For other TOC members, we did put together a document about driving ambient mesh to beta. It is not particular to the 120 timeline, but it sort of outlines the work necessary, and we are waiting for feedback on that from a few TOC members. So if you haven't had a look at that, take a look at last month's TOC agenda and have a look at the doc.
You're referring to Lynn's doc, the doc that Lynn started?
I think so. Drive Istio ambient mesh
Yes.
to beta.
Yep. Okay, so TOC it is.
Yeah, so I'll add this along with the doc for the next TOC meeting, so we can discuss there. Yeah, great idea, Keith.
All right, so anything else for today? All right, going once, going twice, and going 3 times. If there's nothing, then wish you all a happy day, and I'll see some of you at the ending meeting.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.